guys, welcome to an all-new week of pop culture and reality television. We start our Mondays in the best way possible with a pop culture roundup, and we have her yet again. It has been 2 long weeks, but she is now back. In fact, she got to visit me in the Betches offices where all the girls complimented her on her outfit and everything that she wore. Like, I don't even notice those things, and these girls were like, oh my God, I love your jeans, I love your shoes, I love your shirt. And then she went out and did Man on the Street interviews with me, which was highly scary at times and really amped up my sweating, as you guys know I have an issue with. She's pretty much correct on most of her takes about pop culture, and she is here with us, the one, the only Sophie Ross.
I lost you for a second, but if you're talking about everyone complimenting my outfit,
I was.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I followed Ryan around like awkwardly. I literally was just like, he was the talent, and I was literally just following them around. But it was really fun to just like hang out and watch Ryan do Ryan on the street. It was hilarious, honestly.
But it is funny though to see how girls interact with other girls, and how I think that's why I always talk about on housewife shows, you know, they spend so much time complimenting each other, and it's because men don't compliment women as much, and women notice every little detail. These women noticed everything that Sophie was wearing, and they were like, oh my God, girl, where did you get this? And I'm sitting here like, I didn't notice any of that except that Sophie had clothes on.
Guys, it wasn't even that good of an outfit. It was like jeans, pointed boots, and like a leather bomber jacket and a wool scarf. But like, you know.
By the way, I love that she remembers specifically what she was wearing. Like, yeah. I switched between like 2 t-shirts and like 2 pair of jeans and like a bomber jacket.
You were wearing a bomber jacket too. We were twinning.
Effortlessly cool. So I just got back to Los Angeles today, and I just woke up from a pretty intense nap where I dreamt about Pete Davidson, and then I wake up to the news that Pete Davidson sideswiped his car last night right after a stand-up comedy show in Los Angeles at the Wiltern. He sideswiped a car right outside of the theater, leaving the theater. What is it with celebrities and not being able to drive a flippin' car?
Wait, I didn't hear about this, but also like
just last night.
I feel like with like Britney Spears and Lindsay Lohan, you always heard about them getting into like parking lot, like fender benders or side swiping cars. But it's like, in that case, it's because of the paparazzi that was chasing them around in like 2005. Like, what paparazzi is genuinely chasing around Pete Davidson?
I mean, what paparazzi was chasing around Shannon Bedore? Like, it wasn't like somebody was chasing Shannon Bedore and she ran into a house. My thing is, if you are even close to a D celebrity, take an Uber. Like, even if you are wanting to touch a drop of wine, and by the way, Pete Davidson I don't think he was like, quote unquote, on anything, but Pete Davidson ran into a house a year and a half ago. Do you remember that?
Pete Davidson did?
Pete Davidson ran into a Beverly Hills house a year and a half ago.
I do think I remember that. Oh my God, Pete, like, stop driving.
Do you know that they also...
Do you think he's steering with his dick?
No, because his dick is so large that he should be able to steer comfortably with his dick. He's probably just steering with his stupid small hands and not his large dong. And do you know that the house he slammed into in Beverly Hills, they had to demolish it because Pete hit it at the foundation. He hit the side of the house at the foundation. They had to demolish the whole house.
Ryan, wait, it keeps like, I hope the listeners aren't hearing this, but I keep like losing you. Is your internet okay?
No, my internet's fine. I think what happens with this is there's like a second, so it records separate audio tracks.
Yeah.
So it should be fine. But if you miss something, just say repeat that, and then I can edit it out in post.
I'll say, again, please.
Again, please. I did not hear that. You could do, that's one of Meredith Marks's voices. Please repeat.
You know what's funny is that I was FaceTiming my mom earlier. Shout out Amy.
What up, Amy?
We were really sad about the Bengals losing. And she was like, just remember, there are sick people in the hospital right now. And I was like, okay, Meredith Marks, there are children who wake up disabled.
They will be disabled until the end of time, Sophie. You can leave, Sophie. Wait, the Bengals lost again?
Why she was giving Meredith, but she doesn't watch Salt Lake City, so like she was like, okay.
Oh, the Bengals lost again?
They're not good. Guys, it's a tank year. Time to tank.
Joe Burrow, you need to date Taylor Swift immediately if you want to compete in the NFL.
Yeah, seriously. Like, the Chiefs have been doing great. Like, she's not bad luck. She's not giving, like, Jessica Simpson, Tony Romo, like, bad juju at all, which is great because I could see a lot of Chiefs fans maybe turning on her if they started to lose all of a sudden. But, like, no.
Wait, Sophie. Okay, I've been asleep for the last couple hours. Did the Chiefs play yet today? Because I know it's the Jets and the Chiefs, and Taylor was going to the Jets stadium to watch this game.
So you know what? I actually okay, so it's tonight. They play. So right now we're recording on Sunday. I know not everyone wants to know how the sausage is made, but it's Sunday at 7 p.m., 7:20 p.m., and they play at 8 something.
Okay.
It's 8:20 in an hour. So it's Sunday Night Football. So like I'm going to watch it and see if there's a Taylor appearance because there should be. She's been in New York. She's been with like Blake Lively. It was like Blake Lively and Sophie Turner and then Hugh Jackman. Like, where did he come from?
Hugh Jackman is newly single from his longtime wife of like 25 years. So maybe Taylor Swift just hangs out with like newly single people.
She's like, wait, you know the Watch What Crappens, like Lisa Vanderpump impression where it's like,
no,
little broken beds. She loves her little broken beds.
When me and Nick Lane, when I hang out with him, we try to help the unfortunate, the underprivileged, like Hugh Jackman and Sophie Turner. Oh. Wait, explain to you're our sports correspondent on So Bad It's Good. I was reading because they, like you said, they all went out last night and they invited the Chiefs quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. Explain why. Everybody keeps saying that like Brittany and Taylor, they shouldn't be friends, but they're kind of friends right now. Explain what the drama is there or why people think they shouldn't get along.
The drama is that Brittany Mahomes has a way of really getting under people's skin. I think that she's just very passionate, and I'm guilty of like making fun of her in the past, especially when they play the Bengals, because she just like talks so much shit. She talks shit, but then even the Chiefs fans don't like her. So it's like, I don't know. She's very passionate and very intense and like very obnoxious on social media. And like, there was like some scandal, quote unquote, where she was in her suite during a Chiefs win, and then she was like spraying her champagne and was like getting all over the people in the stands, kind of like when Timothy at the Beyonce concert was like ashing his cigarette like on the plebes below.
Yeah, by the way, when Timothy went with Kylie to the Beyonce thing, he was like literally, it wasn't even just vaping, he was lighting full cigarettes. And can you imagine, because half of the girls would probably want to get ashed on by Timothy Chalamet, but it's still so rude.
I would.
You're such a freak.
And it's also an indoor stadium. Like, it's true. I would, but like SoFi is an indoor stadium, so like why were you smoking a cigarette in an indoor stadium, first of all? But yeah, and she's always like complaining about like the refs when calls don't go like the Chiefs' way. It's always the refs' fault. Like, she's just like obnoxious. But I will say that a lot of the like online abuse she gets is definitely like a lot of it is rooted in misogyny. And she's also done a lot of like, she was on the quarterback show on Netflix that Patrick Mahomes was on. And she like opened a Kansas City soccer team, women's soccer league. And like, she's done a lot for the city and for women's sports there. And she also played, I think, like college soccer. So she's super competitive. And yeah, I mean, like, I have no problem with her, but I can see why people do.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how long this relationship with Travis Kelce lasts, because we've got a long season of football from what I understand. And each week it's going to be Taylor watch now at these stadiums. And like today, is she going to bring her girl gang? Like she like forms like a girl army every couple of years. Like in the old days, it was like Lena Dunham and, Selena Gomez and all of those ladies. Selena's still in the mix, but now we got Blake Lively. We have Mahomes' wife potentially. You got Sophie Turner. You got the Haim sisters. for all three of those sisters are always seem to be with her. You got Zoe Kravitz, Channing Tatum's girlfriend and amazing actor from Batman. Like, who else is in Taylor's girl gang? Will they all show up to the football stadium today?
I don't know. So apparently a bunch of her, so like Blake, Hugh Jackman, girl gang member, Sophie Turner, apparently they all going to the game. So I think there will be some celeb sightings. I honestly should have gone to this game, even though I'm not a fan of like either team. I should have gone just to like see celebs,
just to see,
just
to see what it's like. There's a lot of celebs probably at the stadium because of Taylor Swift, on top of it already being football, so celebrities go anyways. Taylor Swift, she has that movie, the Eras movie, coming to AMC theaters October 14th, and it's going to open 13th, open in 100 countries. Like, every nation is going to have this. But then, exciting news, and this is really cool for movie theaters, is that Beyonce is nearing the close of her deal to take the Renaissance tour to AMC movie theaters as well. And I'm like, hell yeah, find ways to make movie theaters valuable again. Would you go see a Renaissance Beyonce film at AMC theaters?
Honestly, like, I don't think that I would pay to see one of these concert films. Like, when they come out on streaming, yes. I just like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know why people are paying to like watch a concert like at a movie theater. Like, I don't really like understand like the appeal. Except, did you see the new like Las Vegas like Sphere? There was like a YouTube concert there or something.
That's a story. It's okay. The story I was actually, this is in the notes, but what she's referring to is that this billionaire, I think his name is James Dolan, from MSG, like Madison Square Garden. He created this idea of a sphere a long time ago. They spent $2.4 billion. It's in Las Vegas, and the whole thing is shaped as a sphere. But the really insane thing is the entire inside and outside is a gigantic LED screen. It's kind of like Real Housewives of Orange County, the reunion. They pop up this big photorealistic screen behind the ladies. The whole sphere is like that, but it's also filled with speakers. So it's supposed to be the most amazing sound where each seat gets the same sound. So U2, one of the biggest bands in the world, I know you guys probably, you kids don't know enough about U2 like you should. They are doing a residency, and they were the first musical act at the Sphere, and it premiered Friday night. And if you saw some of the TikTok videos of this, it's like an acid trip come to life. I mean, it was amazing, right? What you saw?
Yeah, it actually looked insane. And I love the tweets that are like, I want to watch Real Housewives here. Like, like I would watch things there. If there were like Taylor Swift or Beyonce, like if the concert films, it's like Che Diaz comedy concert. Like, what do you even call like a concert film? Like, if they were playing there, I would maybe like see them, pay to see them.
Well, now you've got me thinking about seeing Che Diaz live at the Sphere. What up, everybody? It's me, Che. What's going on? Are you guys seeing me in 360? Yeah. I'm here for all the people out there. Yeah. By the way, I have tickets to go see U2 at the Sphere in December, and I am so excited. But I'm one of those U2 fans, and I posted about it, and so many people in like DMs were like, is U2 good? Like, do you even know a U2? My friend Janet Elizabeth, I'll bust you out, who's on the new Vanderpump Valley. She DM'd me, she's like, do you actually know any U2 fans? I was like, Janet, I am a U2 fan. And then she unfollowed me. But no, she didn't unfollow me. But I was like, I'm a U2 fan, and they have like the visuals on this thing. Even if you don't like whoever's performing in there, I think it's a once in a lifetime experience. I don't think anything's been done like this in terms of performance with the stadium itself.
You're like, am I a U2 fan? Pull up in the Sri Lanka.
Yeah. Well, what does this tattoo of Bono say to you? Does this say fan, or does this just say casual acquaintance of the band? No, I mean, I genuinely, but I hate that when like you get older and then people don't understand like the grip that U2, I mean, it's not the grip that Taylor Swift had on, but they were just insanely popular, and they're playing this entire album, Achtung Baby, from the 90s, that I just thought was just, as a kid, I was like, this is awesome. This was like real like rock and roll for me at the time. And it's hysterical to like see. By the way, Diana Jenkins from Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, was there on Friday night.
Oh, how do you know
It's
that?
because she was posting like, it's me, Diana Jenkins. I'm seeing Bono. Bono is one of my friends. She was with Neil Patrick Harris and her husband. But then all these like celebrities were there. You had like Kate Hudson, Dr. Dre.
Oh my God. Neil Patrick Harris, as if I needed another reason to think that Neil Patrick Harris is like an extremely shady person.
Yeah, and you had, well, they're best buddies with her and Asher. Her singer husband, they all four of them, Neil Patrick Harris, his husband, Diana Jenkins, and Asher were all together.
Wait, I have a question. So when the U2 album like appeared on everyone's iPhones, were you like the only person that was like excited about it?
Okay, so listen, so what she's referring to is when Apple like unveiled like the new operating system at one point, they just decided to put the new U2 album on it. Nobody had to pay for it. It just showed up. But the fact is, it just showed up. You didn't have a choice whether you got it or not. My mom, rest in peace, Becky Bailey, was livid. She was like, why is this on my phone? Like, she didn't really even listen to music on phone. So she was scared that she downloaded some kind of virus and it was just a U2 album. But yeah, like I thought that was a bad move. Like, I loved U2, but I thought it was a horrible move because people want like choice. People want control, and putting something on without any choice and taking up somebody's precious memory space on their phone is horrible. So I thought that was a bad move.
Yeah, we're all about free will on this podcast.
Did you like the U2 album on your phone back in the day?
No. I also like, I feel like you're like an elder millennial.
Yeah.
Like
Kim Kardashian, you guys. Like, you didn't watch the new episode of the Kardashians, did you?
No, I just saw the clips that were going on. I know we talked about this a little bit on
God.
Tuesday. But
you've got to watch it, Sophie. You've got to watch it because the first scene is her and Courtney on the phone in a fight. And, Courtney listen, I think I'm not neither team Kim or team Courtney, but in this I'm team Courtney just because, Kim is basically just throwing just wants Courtney to feel bad about herself nonstop. And it comes out that Kim goes, we have a separate text thread with all of our family and your friends where they don't know how to deal with you. And the text thread is named Not Courtney. And Courtney was like, well, that's fine. You can have that. I figured you did anyways. But I think that's fucking ridiculous. And then Kourtney Kardashian's friends, they all posted, they're like, I'm not a part of this. Like Simon Huck, her big, stylist for her hairstylist friend. He's like, I'm not a part of this, or makeup person, whoever Simon Huck is. Sorry, Simon. But that's ridiculous.
Whoever a Simon Huck is, honestly.
No, I know but Kim goes for blood. And I think Courtney is not nearly as equipped for fame as Kim is. Kim's like a Terminator. And I just think it really showed in that moment what Kim is. And Courtney's like, dude, you will stop at nothing for fame. You will stop at nothing. You will just plow through anybody, whether it be family, friends, whatever. And there were really hard truths in that first scene. But it was so intense. But imagine if your family had a Not Sophie text thread entitled Not Sophie.
That's so mean. Like, that's the thing. And I know we talked about this on Thursday. Like, I just think it's so, like, how is that helpful to be like, I care about you. And that's why I'm going to tell you that everyone in your life hates you, including your children. Like, yes, that's so mean. And bringing the kids into it is so mean. Like, and you know what? I feel like when we talked about it, I was like, I am team Courtney because Kim was just so brutal on that call and so mean. At the same time, I feel like since then, Ryan, where'd you go?
I'm right here. I'm here.
Oh,
I'm still here.
Okay,
I'm still here.
I lost your picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, so when you lose my picture, just know the video still picks up. Like for some weird reason, even if we don't see each other or hear each other, it still picks up weirdly enough. Like when I watch it back, we'll be able to see clearly and hear everything clearly. So I know it's annoying. I got to figure it out.
Okay.
But anyways, when you were watching the clips back, what?
Yeah. So I feel like since our conversation on Thursday, I was firmly team Courtney. I'm still like leaning team Kourtney, but I'm also just team no one, like you said, because like Kourtney time and time again complains about how much she hates her family, hates like working on the show, hates being famous, like all these things, but she doesn't leave. Like she signs the contract. Like we see that it's possible for a Kardashian family member to disappear from the spotlight. Rob.
Yeah,
so it's like if she
Rob,
really wanted to like leave the spotlight, and if she really hated it, like she could just disappear, but I think she truly deep down loves the attention and loves the limelight and also loves the money, obviously. So it's I don't know. I find it hard to feel bad for Kourtney sometimes, although I did feel really bad for her on that phone call, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And also I think just like Kim knows how to do this business way better, and certain people aren't equipped. And Kim, time and time again, I think the true love of her life is celebrity and fame. I think that's just what it is. And I don't think she needs to apologize for that, but she's working on a different level. Even those shots at Fashion Week overseas this week with her and Anna Wintour, you can just tell she has glee of like, oh, good, the cameras are picking up me next to Anna Wintour. Like, you know, she knows these moments and she craves these moments. And Kourtney, I think, is just like a lot of us where we get exhausted just getting out of bed in the day. And like, we can't think of all these photo ops we want to get. And Kim is thinking 10 steps ahead, but to what, you know, what's the whole purpose behind this? Like, what does Kim hope to gain? Is she hope to be the number one celebrity that ever has been? Like, what is the end result? Because at the end of the day, she doesn't have a talent like Taylor Swift.
I think it is like an addiction. It's like once you get a taste of like the fame and the fortune and the attention, like you just continue to crave it and you do anything to like get that. And also Kourtney was like had the most normal life for the longest out of all of the Kardashian children. So it's like, I think that she still has that like just normal, being like a normal nobody. I think she was like 27 when the show first premiered. So I don't know. There's also that side of Kourtney. I don't know, but I will say I'm pleasantly surprised. And you know, I'm the last person to like ever compliment Kim Kardashian's acting skills, but I'm pleasantly surprised by her American Horror Story performance.
Listen, it is, by the way, her American Horror Story performance, it's like, it's like a combination of like bitchy with Brynn from Real Housewives of New York that just like saying things like clit and like the C word and like, I'm going to talk in sexual innuendos. So it's, by the way, it's a really not easy, it's hard, but it's a perfect role for Kim because the dialogue is so ridiculous. You can like, she does it well, but you can tell it's like I know exactly. I mean, I can just see the beats in these, so it's like really, it's a really good role for her. Like she can be snotty and bitchy, and somebody said. I was like, I think I read somewhere is like she uses that role. It's like she's perfect at being bitchy because she's just thinking about like talking to Kourtney in those scenes, and then she can turn on that Kourtney voice.
Yeah. So apparently the role was like written specifically for her, and also she plays like this like very wealthy like Hollywood power broker, like publicist, basically like Kris Jenner. And like, it's like she could never play someone who's not wealthy because she has like the Instagram face.
Oh my God.
You know, like she could never play like a normal person, you know?
Wouldn't you now? Wait, now you say, I want to see Kim Kardashian playing like some drug addicted poor person, like maybe Sai's life story from Roni.
No, I want to see her playing the character that Anne Hathaway played in Les Mis.
Can you hear the people singing the songs of it? Fuck you, Carney.
A peasant, like lady of the night in revolutionary France.
Wait, De Niro and all these actors do this? I want to see Kim gain 80 pounds for a role. I want to see Kim.
No, can you imagine her in like a period piece? Like it just like would be so funny.
Dame Kim Kardashian in Sense and Sensibility 2. Jane Austen is rolling in her grave over like Kim's like, thou dost think my nipples are hard in this coterie dress. It's
No, I said, what happens if Kim actually does get nominated for an Emmy for this role?
I don't think it's going to be this role, but I do believe this is a warm up to an HBO Max, big series for her. I think. And by the way, what happened to being a lawyer? She dropped that like a 10, like she passed the baby bar, no more, because acting is way easier than being a lawyer. We don't see her studying for this bar exam anymore. She passed the baby bar, but studying lines is way more fun and you get way more out of it for a celebrity. But I think she will definitely eventually get nominated for something, even if it's like a Blockbuster Video Award.
That's so alarming. But yeah, I mean, I don't disagree.
Okay, the last two things in the Kardashians before we move on that Sophie didn't get to see, but let me tell you, it gets brought up that Corey Gamble, Kris Jenner's longtime lover, says that he got offered a role on the TV show Yellowstone, but Kris didn't let him take it. What the fuck who the hell was Corey Gamble going to play on Yellowstone? Like, he was like, we got a new ranch hand, Buck. We got Fred here. And it's like, what's up? Who is Corey Gamble going to play on Yellowstone? Who the fuck was Corey Gamble going to play on Yellowstone?
Okay, I don't watch Yellowstone, but what I know about it is that it takes place like on a ranch, right?
Yes, it's on a ranch in Yellowstone. Kevin Costner, you got this guy, I'm forgetting his name, like Brick or something. It's all like rough and tumble cowboys. And I would kill to see Corey Gamble act in Yellowstone. What if all the Kardashians now pivot?
Corey Gamble is like silk Dolce and Gabbana, like
he's in his flowy yacht outfits on the ranch.
His caftan.
And then the other thing that gets brought up in this episode, that Khloe Kardashian is deathly afraid of whales. She's afraid of whales, and she says, they're just disgusting and then she's like scared that a whale's going to come up to their place in Cabo and eat her. It's completely ridiculous. And then she says her daughter True will draw pictures of whales to mess with her, and then they show the pictures of the whales. But I will say, Sandra Freier, who works on this show, sent me a clip from an earlier season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians with Caitlyn and Khloe, where Caitlyn was like, yeah, the whales, we can see the whales from here, Joe. And Khloe was like, oh, cool. Khloe wasn't scared of whales in this Keeping Up with the Kardashians episode. So when did Khloe all of a sudden become scared of whales in the last 8 years? When did I saw this clip? Wow. And I couldn't believe Sandra remembered this clip, but she was not scared at all. She was talking with Caitlyn about the whales. Caitlyn like, yeah, whales are beautiful, Khloe. And Khloe did not. Khloe was just like, cool, let's see some whales. Isn't that wild? Do you think it got pitched to her to have a phobia of whales for the show?
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at the Caitlyn Jenner impression. I just missed it.
I haven't been around in a while. Wait. I'm doing a documentary about how Khloe lied about the fucking whales. She loved whales with me. We would do whale watching. It's me, Caitlyn. Woo. Anyways, it scared me.
No, I don't know. It's a really weird phobia to have, and yeah, that's hilarious that clip got dug up.
Yeah, I'm gonna post that clip.
Contradicting her claim of having fear. Which, by the way, you guys, if you know me, and everyone who listens to the show knows that I love CGI animal movies, like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Jurassic World, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
A big fan of The Meg. The Meg 2 is now on HBO. I almost bought it. I almost rented it for $20 a couple weeks ago, and now it's free on HBO if you have Max, I mean. So,
oh my God, that would have doubled how much that movie made in the cinema. There would have been $40 if Sophie had bought you're the one that you're like, gotta see The Meg 2. We've got. By the way, Sophie always watches all the Liam Neeson straight to Netflix movies too, and she swears by them. She's like, these are really good.
Correct.
What did you think of Kendall Jenner and her boyfriend Bad Bunny doing a Gucci campaign together? Did you see that?
Just reinforced my existing belief that I think they're a PR relationship. And yeah, that's just I feel like they're a PR relationship and she's still allergic to serving.
How are you so private in your like actual life with this relationship, but then you're like spreading yourself everywhere on a Gucci campaign with Bad Bunny? Like, I know it's good money, obviously, but if you are private in your relationship, why choose to monetize it at all? Like, isn't that weird to you?
Yeah, I think it's for PR and it has been this whole time and that's my opinion.
It's my opinion. No, I just think that's completely very Kardashian Jenner, and I just think it's weird because they like talk about wanting to be private. Bad Bunny really won't talk about Kendall Jenner and him in the press. He says it's very private, but then they do this huge Gucci campaign together. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm like, either pick one lane or the other, but it's weird to all of a sudden like just plaster yourself as
Yeah.
a couple on a Gucci campaign.
Yeah,
And
like pick a lane.
okay, so I
Yeah.
watched this Apple docuseries, The Supermodels, last weekend, 4 parts about Cindy Crawford, Chrissy Turlington, Naomi Campbell, and Linda Evangelista, and I loved it. But I even noticed, I'm not into fashion, but like Kendall Jenner's not a good runway walker, is she? Like, or what? Like a runway model. I was watching her at all the foreign fashion shows.
That? Wait, so if that was good, I'm adding that to my list because I have heard good things about it. Yeah, so Kendall's not good at walking and she also just doesn't, and I know that like I might sound biased because I have beef with Kendall and like I have for years now since she blocked me on Twitter in like 2017. So I know I'm like a little bit biased, but like she's not a good model. And you know what's funny is that I remember because I used to work at Harper's Bazaar magazine back in 2014 and 2015.
Okay.
So that was one of my first jobs out of college. I remember she had this whole centerfold, and this was back when Kendall was like, it was 2014. She was kind of like just starting out as like this model. And I was flipping through like the centerfold, and I was like, her eyes are dead. Her eyes are dead. And no one listened to me. They were like, what do you mean? She's serving, or like whatever the word was in 2014. Like, no one listened to me when I said that she wasn't a good model. And now look at her.
But wait, but okay, but she's walking I'm not playing devil's advocate here, but she's walking the biggest runway shows. She's like all of like, you have your ears to the streets though, is to like, does there's got to be a huge contingent that thinks she's amazing at this. I just don't even see it when I see her walk.
No.
I just don't see anything.
She has what, like 300 million Instagram followers? You compare that to the second most followed model in the world, maybe Gigi Hadid, who has maybe like 70 million something. Like she has such a staggering amount of followers and gets anything the family does gets so much publicity. It's unfortunately in the modeling industry today, having followers is what gets you, clout. So you see people that they don't have that it factor, like Linda Evangelista and Naomi Campbell and all of the 90s supermodels had, because those girls were genuinely just the most purely talented models of that time. You could be the most gorgeous, talented model in the entire world. And if you have, I don't know, like 1,000 Instagram followers, how do you compete? You can't. So that's just like a reality. And I know, some people that are in the modeling world that have said that that's what it is that at castings, they will ask you your Instagram follower count or whatever it is.
Yeah.
A lot of them purchase followers just to try to keep up. So
well, the docuseries
answer to that, just because Kendall like gets cast in like encloses like Schiaparelli shows and all of that doesn't mean that she's like talented.
Well, the docuseries makes a point of those supermodels, those 4 women. I mean, they really took that runway and modeling to that next level that they didn't even know it could get to. But then the reaction to that was that they almost became too big, where certain designers didn't want to use them because it started to overshadow their clothes and their designs. And what's interesting now, as Cindy Crawford points out in the last episode, was that like, listen, now with social media, we didn't have social media back then. Yeah. Right. She goes, right now, I'm just known as Kaya's mom, Kaya Gerber's mom, and everybody has a phone. Everybody can be a model now. It's just not the same. Everybody can paint their own picture of how they look, what their beauty is. And in a lot of ways, that's good because beauty is starting to open up more of like, it's for everybody. It's for plus size people. It's for every gender, every ethnicity, everything like that. That's the good thing about social media. But there was a time in the 90s where it was dominated by these women, and it's just not the same. So it's interesting to see
It's
people
true.
like Kendall Jenner and the Hadids. Those are the ones we throw to now when we talk about supermodels. And I just don't know what the reality of that situation. It'll never have the impact that those four ladies did in the 90s.
Yeah. No, it's true. But like, also, I remember just hearing about those supermodels growing up, how like they would all get discovered at like a Midwestern mall, for instance. Like models would
Yes.
always get discovered
Yes.
like at the mall. Like, so I would walk around the mall like thinking I was going to get discovered.
Oh my God. I grew up in Kansas, and I will tell you, I had elaborate fantasies, not of being discovered as a model, but I had elaborate fantasies of being discovered. Like, I really just thought, like, wow, like I had an elaborate fantasy of being cast as Robin in a Batman movie. And I just like, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And I was like the biggest fucking nerd. Like, I didn't really have many friends growing up. And like, you can tell they were all girls, and they all like had like, I mean, by the way, it's the discussions we have every week. That was me growing up. It would be about New Kids on the Block and whatever boy band. And they would just let me tag along with this group of girlfriends that lived on my street. But I had these elaborate fantasies of being discovered. And my grandma in Columbus, Ohio, she worked for this Jewish department store named Schottenstein's. And she did like the modeling for the newspapers. And she one time used me as a shoe model when I was 12 years old. And you guys, I thought I was fucking like Linda Evangelista. I was like, and I even had a whole bit as a 12-year-old. I had the ad, and I would take it with me to school. I'd be like, you can tell it's my feet because it smells. Like, I had a whole joke with it. I thought I was the shit after one shoe ad.
Oh my God. I'm obsessed with that. I also love how you didn't like fantasize about being like Batman. You fantasized about being like the sidekick.
Yes, I was. I just had a fantasy. No, I mean, like, that was it. Being in Kansas, it was just the thought of like, grow up in Cincinnati, you can't comprehend sometimes being a part of Los Angeles. Or, I mean, you probably.
Well, you made it, Ryan. Just for the record, you have made it in Los Angeles in the biz.
Yeah,
so
in the biz.
I think that little kid in Kansas would be very proud.
Well, but Sophie, when you grew up in Cincinnati, and I think it's probably different because I think you are more headstrong than I am and confident. Did you picture yourself like making it in the big city of New York City? Like, was that on your like, oh, I can do that? Or was that a big hurdle for you to have to get over to convince yourself that you could do it?
No, that actually was something that I would think about all the time, like growing up in like the Midwest. I was like obsessed with moving to New York one day. I was obsessed with like fashion magazines. I would make collages on my wall and like Anna Wintour. Like, I always thought it was gonna be the next Anna Wintour. And then meanwhile, when I actually entered the magazine industry in New York and realized you get paid less than minimum wage more often than not, I was like, I take the money instead. So I pivoted a little bit. But like, yeah, I feel like that was like, dreaming of the big city, being like a little Midwestern kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Pivoting now to Bravo a little bit. Sophie, this unfortunately will be our last episode as I have to quit the podcasting business because Tom Sandoval has entered the podcasting game with his new hit podcast, Everybody Loves Tom. Sophie, are you scared shitless out of your mind that he's just put us out of work completely?
We're out of business.
I mean,
we're out of business.
First Jax, you got Dodie, you got Jax, you got Scheana, you got Lala, you have all of these, and then Tom comes in just at the right moment because there's not enough podcasts out there, and he just kills the game. He busts it wide open. It's something new. It's something different. Did you listen to this podcast?
No, I still haven't listened to it, but I know you did. So give us the recap.
Dude, what's up, dude? It's me, Tom. Has everybody having a good summer? Rock and roll, dude. No, okay, so the important information you want to know about this is that he's not drank supposedly since April. I don't know if he's done any drugs, but he says he stopped drinking in April. And so he did all of those. He did that entire tour sober, which is really scary in retrospect to look at some of those videos because I was like, shit, dude, I would have been wasted if I was doing that. But the whole thing is fine. Like he does some very serious topics about potentially being suicidal. So I want to trigger warn people on that. And there is a hotline you can call if you are having any thoughts about anything like that. I believe it's 988. I'll put that in the show notes. But that's very serious. And if anybody even jokes about it, a lot of people were like, well, Tom's a liar. He's going to say anything that he says to gain sympathy. I don't know. You got to take it at face value if anybody says anything like that. But it's weird. He talks about not drinking, but then he has his best friend Kyle Chan on, the jewelry designer, who now has a whiskey business. And I'm like, that's some mixed messaging. Like, I'm sober, but here's my friend's whiskey. And then he jokes about taking a sip of it. And he does take a sip of it, but it must have been like a mocktail, I'm guessing. So I don't know. Like, I have curiosity about that. But once again, the whole 43 minutes, it still doesn't seem like he's taking any personal responsibility for anything that he's done. And it seems like it's more done to him and that he's had to withstand this brutality, which I understand that it's been very intense, all of her reactions, obviously. But I now am at the point where, like, Tom, you've made enough money off of this as well. You've not made Ariana money, but you've made money. You've been Special Forces season 2. You're the diver on The Masked Singer. I hate to break that to everybody if you didn't know it. You got the podcast. He's starting a Patreon. He did his tour. And it's almost like he wants to be patted on the back for still doing the tour because, you know, he was paying all of these people, which is fine. So his staff, you know, Tom should be a hero to, but nobody else, none of us needed any of this other stuff. So I still think there's like some wide swaths of things that he should actually be taking accountability for. And I just don't think he's at that place. And Rachel, I mean, think about it. I'm not team Rachel at all, but she went into 3 months of like mental health, like a mental health facility. Tom went on the road. Like, you know, Tom didn't do anything near like what you should be doing if you've created this kind of wave. And if you have this certain pattern in your life with women, it doesn't seem like he's even scratched the surface on any of that. And now we should just feel bad for him and be like, yay, you're keeping going. It's like, it's all self-serving at the end of the day.
So people have said that they have definitely seen him drink in recent months and even during filming. So I have questions about the sobriety thing. Like, do we for sure believe him? I don't know. I don't want to question someone like that.
Yeah. But isn't that the thing that sucks, though, is when you're a proven liar on these shows, you start to question everything that person does. Not just Tom Sandoval, but anybody in these shows, you start to question their actual being able to tell the truth. And listen, there's always 3 sides to the story. I'm just curious if he'll continue to do this and really commit to it. Like, he's talking about doing a Patreon where he recaps old episodes. And like, I just am curious. Like, Jason Bader, his drummer, is producing the show. That's great. But I just think it's going to be a really tough road to hoe for him, you know?
Yeah, we'll see about that. I wonder what's going to happen because weren't there rumors that like he was going to be on the outs of like Schwartz and Sandy's also? Like, I don't know.
Well, the rumor is he's getting bought out of Schwartz and Sandy's. That's the rumor. I heard Greg, the co-owner of that, who we saw in this past season, was really livid about all of this. So that is what I've heard. The word on the street is that he's getting bought out. And if you notice, he doesn't wear Schwartz and Sandy's merchandise anymore. He doesn't wear that hat. He wears like Tom.
What about Schwartz? Is Schwartz still in it or no?
Schwartz is still in it. Schwartz is still in it, but I'm sure we'll find out more about that. Also, I want to tell people about something about her store. There was that rumor going around that like it was just for the show. It is not just for the show. It's just that the city of West Hollywood, the business that was in there before had a patio there that it wasn't part of, like they didn't get approved to have a patio. So they did all of this. The city came out to look at it and said, you can't have this patio jutting into the sidewalk. So they've now had to tear the entire patio out. They had to redo everything. It was supposed to be the season finale of the show, and they were not able to do that. And so they have new plans submitted, but it's going to take months for this place to open now. Yeah. I'm sorry, you cut out, but did you hear what I said about the patio being taken down?
Yeah. No, I saw that people were like, oh, this was just for the show. But it really turns out is because the West Hollywood, city ordinances or like whatever you call it.
Tell me what you think about Southern Charm this past week.
Oh, Taylor is a fucking liar.
Taylor is a liar. One with the mustache, Taylor.
Yeah, like I just do not trust her. Olivia was clearly really hurt. And I think that like Shep is, even though he won't want to admit it, is probably deeply hurt by Austin. It's like more so like the friendships that, you know, they're kind of like breaking that code between friends. And I also hate how Taylor like brings like Christianity into it. where she's like, I swear on the Bible, or like whatever. It's like, you're such a liar. Like, she's such a liar. I also think Madison is like super boring. I really don't care about watching Madison unless she's like blackout, like emotionally abusing Austin, you know?
That's where she really thrives, is when she emotionally abuses Madison.
Madison, you're insane right now.
Well, so at the very end, though, Olivia and Taylor have this conversation where it really does come out that Taylor did think like, oh, should we try this as a couple? I talked to my family about it. And we see like, Olivia really breaks down in her car about this. It really does. Like, I don't know girl code, but it seems like that goes way against girl code.
No, it does. I think, and also I was like reading Reddit or something, like just Southern Charm chatter. And it was about how Olivia, I think, was really confused by like Austin, like being into her 1 second and then like kind of like ghosting her like the next. And I wonder if she's thinking about the timeline of everything and being like, oh my God, did Taylor have something to do with Austin like retreating from our relationship? Like, that's really hurtful. So,
yeah. Well, comments by celebs, I was listening to their take on it, and they said that Taylor and Austin are in game, and I was like, no, they aren't. Like, they are not in game. Austin would never be able to. Austin wants to believe in his head that he'd be able to commit. He would not be able to, like, not right now. Austin is not going to be able to commit to anybody for 5 more years at least, and it's not going to be Taylor. I don't think it's in game. I just think the show presents them as like really caring for each other, when Austin was able to care for her last season because he wasn't committed to her. So he was able to be a good friend. That doesn't mean they're in game.
I agree. And I think he also has this weird fetish with like hurting Shep by going after like women that have dated or been with Shep.
Yeah, they had
like,
that clip.
Like, yeah, they showed like the Chelsea thing from like a couple seasons ago. Like, I feel like it's like a fetish with Austin that he like has to prove that he's better than Shep, maybe because he's insecure and like doesn't have a trust fund. I don't know. I'm just like psychoanalyzing here.
No, please.
But yeah, I feel like if Taylor never dated Shep, I doubt he'd be interested. If we're being honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it really came down to it, he wouldn't be able to commit the way that Taylor wants a commitment. And I just think you're in the wrong town for that at all, Taylor. Like, none of those, you need to get out of that guy group entirely if you're looking for a commitment of one of them.
She won't, because she wants to be on the show, and that's why she quit her what was it, a dental assistant job?
Dental assistant, and now she's selling
dental assistant. She wants to be on Southern Charm. So
yeah, who wouldn't want to be on Southern Charm? Now you're gonna hate this, Sophie, but I will. This is a Craig story. Is that Paige DeSorbo was on maybe the Toast or something, and somebody sent me some notes that they were talking, and Paige said that she is teaching Craig how to be like better at like picking up rumors and really getting into it. And now she's taught Craig to write in a notes app like Jessel does on Real Housewives of New York. And then Craig reports back to Paige during like fights and stuff. But I think that's ridiculous, because I think Craig has been a good gossip from day one. Craig's always known how to gossip. What are you talking about?
I don't think you need to teach Craig how to gossip. Like, he's been able to gossip. So that's something that like I would definitely
Paige needs to learn from him.
That's a good idea, actually, to teach my boyfriend, because like many men not named Craig, like many straight men not named Craig or Ryan, they don't care about the gossip for some reason. And I'm like, oh, so like your friend and like his girlfriend broke up. Like, why? Who dumb too? And he's like, I don't know. I didn't ask.
I don't know.
Like, why? Why would you not ask? What do you mean?
That's the next question. Yeah. Why does it mean? Exactly. I mean, it would be, you would think, but I think Craig is so good at this already. So like Paige, I think you need to take notes from Craig, not the other way around, because I think Craig is killing it being a good town gossip.
I agree. If Craig is reporting back about his friend and girlfriend breaking up, he'd be like, yeah, so she broke up with him because she actually was hooking up with the bartender.
I gotta tell you though, I hate it. I'm a big Craig fan this season. I mean, I've, like it, it's hard. Like, I just think I'm a Craig fan. I don't know. Like, I'm not a Craig fan in the
He
sense that I
knows
want
how
to
to
do.
put it on. Like,
Yes.
you love him on Southern Charm, but then on shows like Winter House and Summer House, where the cameras are always watching him, he sucks. It shows the true side of him. But on Southern Charm, he knows how to like turn it on and like be that character, you know?
He's so necessary on Southern Charm. What do you think about the new guy, JT?
I love that he's like a little shitster.
I love that he calls his mom mommy. I love he's like, mommy, I had a bad night, mommy. I drank so much, mommy. I'm just gonna go back to, and he's like a slumlord for Airbnb. He's like, has all these areas. He goes, mommy, I got a showing later. I'm just real wrecked. I gotta get back to bed, mommy.
And he also like needs to pick a struggle. He like is like really short and like clearly has like a Napoleon complex. Like he's
and by the way, you have to be in scenes with Austin. You already know he's pissed off because, you know, he's the one that called out the Austin Taylor relationship.
Yeah, and he clearly like is in love with Taylor, JT is, and Taylor like has totally friend zoned him because he's like JT.
Yes. And like listen, like that's, you know, he makes money, he has a good whole life, but like, you know, he hates that he has to be competing with like a 6'5" man like Austin.
Yeah. And even like Shep, I think, is pretty tall or decently tall.
Okay, moving on to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I think they've had 2 back-to-back great episodes. What do you think?
Oh my God, appointment viewing. My little name today on Riverside is Little Girl.
What do you think about, see, I think Mary Cosby's perfect on the show. What do you think that she only does scenes in the Sprinter van? Do you care that she doesn't get involved with the other ladies?
You know what? If you asked me this a week ago, I would say she's not necessary on the show because what's your point if you're just not going to partake in the activities? But she liked my tweet the other day. So now I'm going to...
That's all it takes. That's all it takes, folks. That's all it takes. By the way, Kindle, if you unblock Sophie and like something of her calling you a horrible...
I'll become your biggest defender. I have no backbone.
She's great. She's really... Skipperelli, she was good this week. Yeah. No, well, I think Mary Cosby's great in those little moments because I think it's like a good diversion from the actual storyline. Like, she doesn't... I don't want Mary Cosby storylines. I just want her to talk shit about these women and go, I don't want you talking to me. Take me to McDonald's. I love that.
Yes, she's definitely better as a friend of than a main cast member, 100%. And she's like just an alien. She's so strange and like hates them.
Yes.
Like she really is. Like it is entertaining and funny to watch. Yes.
What do you think about the Lisa Barlow-Monica fight where Monica's like, you talk about money, your $60,000 ring all the time. Where do you stand in this war?
I mean, I get where Monica's coming from. I could see why that's frustrating. Lisa, I understand, like, we want our Real Housewives to be rich. And Lisa's like, I'm not going to apologize for being rich or like whatever she said. But also, like, real rich people are not talking about money as much as Lisa Barlow is.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Like I'm not really team anyone. I'm just trying to point out the fact that a real genuinely wealthy person is not going to be like, oh my God, my $60,000 ring, my $60,000 glam squad, which by the way, why is everything $60,000?
I know, that's what I said. It's such a specific dollar. I said, so essentially she's out $120,000 on this Palm Springs trip because she lost the ring and then she pays $60,000 for glam because like, I want my glam. Like, it is so crazy. But at the same time, I love Lisa Barlow so much. Like, I love what she brings to it. She's unapologetically herself.
Yeah, she's like, it's my fucking face.
Yeah, like, you don't get it. You don't get it, John. I use my makeup. And then I love when the producer came in and she's like, you guys know I'm the best sport. Listen to me, you guys. And the poor producer's like, we do listen to you, Lisa. We listen to you a lot. Well, I need my glam tonight, please. I loved it.
It's so funny. And then a lot of people on Twitter are saying that it was like shady on the producer's part to show kind of like a zoomed up like
her face,
of Lisa getting her makeup done, so she wasn't really wearing any because she was in the middle of getting it done, and you can see it was just like really bad lighting, and you could just see a lot of wrinkles. And people were like, oh my God, that's so shady on, the producer's part. I'm like, it's literally her face. Like, it is what she looks like. And, a lot of people were like, oh my God, I can tell why she doesn't want to be seen without makeup, which I think is so fucked up. Because if someone like Lisa, a Real Housewife, is going to get blown up with fillers or Botox, the viewers are going to make fun of them for that too. So it's like women just can't win.
You can't win. And Lisa Barlow
really
still is one of the most attractive women out there. And Lisa Barlow has a more than healthy self-esteem. So it is interesting. We do try to knock those people that have really healthy self-esteems down a peg. I just didn't really care about that part of it at all. I thought the joke for me was just refusing to do drag glam. I thought that was funny in itself. I didn't really care about the shady shots. Editors do shady trolls, which I find interesting in terms of like showing flashbacks, but those looks things, I'm like, neither here nor there. Like sometimes sometimes I think those are funny and useful, and I didn't find it this time at all. And I was shocked that actually became a little bit of a Twitter conversation. What did you think about Heather Gay, the last episode, literally puking and pissing herself, and then the next morning being like, boot, scoot, and rally, let's keep going? And it reminded me of, like, Sophie, have you ever gotten that sick in the club or in a Sprinter van? Because you used to really go hard on the weekends.
Yes. I remember like not so long ago, maybe like 2.5 years ago, I was at a bar in Lower East Side and I puked in like a glass. No, like at the table because I couldn't make it to the bathroom.
Tight.
So it wasn't that long ago that, I was Heather Gay. And also, by the way, I don't think that she was peeing herself. I've seen a lot of debate about this. I think she was vomiting and like some of it like through.
Sophie, you are so wrong that it is like, this is Sophie. I've watched it now 1,000 times. She pukes and the force of the puke made her pelvic flooring loose. It is such it's an extreme piss drip. It is not puke at all. The puke goes into the bag. The pee comes out of her crotch. You can see it very clearly. I've watched it up close many times.
I know. I'm like, now I need to watch it like the Zapruder film, I guess. I need to rewatch it and see.
But do you think it's like going to be like a Shannon Bedore issue? Like Heather Gay has now had like 2 times last season in the San Diego house when they were there, where she got wasted, got the black eye. Like, do we have to worry about like Heather Gay over drinking? Is this going to be a storyline? Like, I now like kind of like get concerned about these ladies, especially after Shannon Bedore. It's like, is this going to be something that she just imbibes a lot all the time on the show?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I mean, like, who am I to be the judge here about whether someone's drinking has like veered into like scary territory?
Well,
but
you
I feel
puked
like
into a
Shannon,
glass. I think you're good to you can judge.
Yeah. No, but we saw with Shannon that I feel like the signs were there, and I feel like it had a lot to do with like her personal life and like just not being happy and just a lot of other things where I feel like Heather seems to be in a more stable place, in my opinion. And there's nothing that's indicated to me that's been like indicative that she has a problem other than that she gets shit-faced sometimes. Like it's never like been that big of an issue. I feel like with Shannon, it's been an issue for a long time now.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, obviously, definitely. And I'm curious to see I'm curious to see if Shannon goes to BravoCon. I'm curious if she is going to go into, Jeff Lewis said she's going to go into outpatient rehab or what, so I'm curious what that actually looks like. But also what I was talking about this weekend is like, I truly root for Shannon Bedore and I root for a lot of these ladies. So I hope that she can see that she can really take this narrative and thrive if she actually gets help. Like I see the best version that Shannon Bedore can be. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I just think she could be really, truly amazing. But even like OC, I was watching like news articles, they all point to like even Shannon Bedore's tagline this season was like, you better give me a tequila shot. Like her tagline even has alcohol in it.
Yeah. And listen, I'm like the biggest Shannon apologist. Like I want Shannon to be okay. I genuinely think that she's a great mom, a great person. Like outside of being a great housewife, like everything that I've seen of Shannon, like I like her. I would be happy to have Shannon in my life to an extent.
I don't want to talk to her every day, but it'd be nice to say hi every now and then.
Yeah, not every day.
Not every day, no.
But yeah, no, I've always been a Shannon apologist. I want her to like get it together for sure.
Okay, as we start winding down here, 2 more things. Real Housewives of New York. Are you watching still this season?
Yes,
Me
I'm
too.
like all caught up on this season now. Yeah.
And what do you think?
I love Jessel. I love Jenna Lyons still. Jenna Lyons just like cracks me up.
Dude, Jenna Lyons DM'd me yesterday because I joked about her performing at the Super Bowl with Usher, and she wrote me, she goes, "Can you imagine?" And I was like, "Yes, Jenna Lyons, I can imagine you playing at the Super Bowl with Usher." And she laughed at that. But I was like, "Oh my God, Jenna Lyons," because I don't really communicate with a lot of, but Jenna Lyons, I was starstruck that she DM'd me. I was like, "No."
Oh my God, that's incredible. I love Jenna. Psy is pointless to me. Aaron and Uba, I think with their fight, they were both kind of guilty.
In the wrong. Yeah.
I'm like,
but Aaron's more annoying
in that fight.
Aaron's more annoying, hands down. But Aaron's more annoying.
Aaron also was like weaponizing her like white tears, but also Uba wasn't innocent either. So I don't know. Yeah, they both are being annoying, but Aaron's definitely more annoying. I just love Jessel and Jenna. Like, build the show around them. I don't think Psy really brings anything, in my opinion. At least Aaron and Uba, like, they've been bringing the drama, at least as much drama. Oh yeah, and then there's Brynn. Like, come on, Brynn. I
Pearl
do
necklace.
Brynn.
I love stuff in my butt. Pussy. Woo. I just think, like, by the way, she even says it's a bit to like get her way. I just don't think she should actually let us know that it's like, we already know it's a bit, but for you to tell us that you know you're doing it, it kind of ruins it for me. It's like, okay, so you just flirt with everybody. That's your thing. I like her. She speaks in like, she belongs on the cast of Friends.
I love stuff in my butt.
Put 3 fingers in. Yeah. Like it's, oh, Jenna, are we going to have sex, Jenna? Oh, Mrs. Brynn Lyons. Like, I feel like they need to make them hook up. Like, if you're going to keep fucking teasing Jenna about that, you better just like go to town and hook up with her before the end of the season, period.
I agree. I would love to see that. But I think with going back to like psychoanalyzing Bravo stars, I think with Brynn, it's obviously like a defense mechanism. It's like something that goes back to her childhood. I know she didn't have like the easiest childhood, but like being like trying to be sexual all the time and like leading with like flirtation and like sex jokes all the time. Like there's something, you need to like get to the root of that. I hope she's like figuring that out in therapy because it's not normal. And it was like cute and funny at first. And I feel like all of the viewers by now are kind of just like, okay, that's enough.
Psy at the end of last week's episode told the women at the end that Jessel keeps these notes on everybody in her notes app.
And boyfriend just brought me.
Dude, by the way, Sophie's boyfriend is the best. And he brought her like what looked like a glass of milk 2 weeks ago, but it turned out it was like spiked eggnog, I think. And it was like spiked pina colada or something. But Sophie thought it was a glass of milk, and he just did it again because he's the best boyfriend in the world.
Wait, no, this time it literally is just a glass of milk because I feel like he's in on the joke now. It's literally just a glass of milk.
Yes. All right. Okay, we're winding down. Don't worry. You're going to have your lady back in 1 second. But by the way, my parents on their first date, it's disgusting. They both ordered a glass of milk at dinner. It was a different time in Ohio, but that's disgusting. They both ordered a big glass of milk.
So Ohio. That's so Ohio, though. Like, it really is.
Okay, so at the end of Psy says, I don't care if Jessel has any notes. I don't care. Well, we don't care about you, Psy. Your name should be spelled S-I-G-H, Psy, not Psy, because you're big, boring. But I will say, I just saw on Twitter, I saw somebody comment saying that Psy needs to talk about how she got her husband at the bar she worked at, and her husband owned the bar and was actually with another lady, and she broke up that relationship. Isn't that crazy? That's true.
I just saw that too. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. It sounds legit.
If that gets brought up, that to me is a great season 2 and makes me want Psy to be on the cast. But other than that, Psy is just responsible for like long-term hunger every episode and just being like bratty and annoying. And I hate creators talking about making content. You're already on a show. This is the content. I don't need content on top of content. This isn't Inception. Right. I don't care.
Right. I agree.
So I'm loving Roni. I can't wait to watch again tonight. And then I was going to talk about Bethany Frankel because she did a big statement, but I just don't know. Like Bethany interviewed Nene this week, a 2-part interview, and I I love Nene. I thought Nene made some really good points. I just think Bethany Bethany doesn't do anything for Nene's points. Bethany's off the reservation for me and has been for a while. And it's hard for me to she actually tweeted and deleted, or Instagram posted and deleted this big explanation about a reality reckoning, not just for Bravo, but for herself as well. And I think all of this is just so self-serving. And if you had even more therapy, you wouldn't need to do to us on a daily basis.
Right. It's get help. Get help,
Yes.
Bethany. And also pick a lane. Are you, standing up for exploited, reality stars, or are you trying to just stay in the limelight with your TikToks? I don't understand what her shtick is, and I don't think she does either.
I think she wants to talk about everything. I think she wants to be, well, it's like how you used to say Elon Musk, he spent $44 billion to be wanting to be a Twitter comedian. That's what he truly wanted to be. And I think Bethany, for all these millions of dollars and all this power she says she has, at the end of the day, she wants to be us. She just wants to be shit talking about us. And I just think that's the weird part of my mind that I can't. I'm do you want to be the king of everything, or do you want to comment on everything? What is it? But I don't think you're a reliable narrator anymore. So I kind of just put it to us. I just don't even. I just don't even really I just tune her out, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
You guys, I just also got a push alert that Taylor Swift is at the game. Daily Mail has pictures. She has her girl group there. She's with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and Sabrina Carpenter. So she's got a bunch of people. She's at the game. We're seeing photos of her walk into the stadium. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are flanking her. She's in the front and they're flanking her. So you guys tune into the NFL. I'm sure you already have at this point. Sophie's going to tune in. And what else is going on for you this week, Soph? Oh, by the way, Sophie's going to be a new mother this week. Are you allowed to talk about that?
Oh, yeah, but not this week. It's at the end of the month. At the end of the month, we're getting our puppy. So it will be an interesting adventure. And I've had dogs my whole life, but my family dogs, this is the first dog that I'm going to be responsible for. So I'm nervous, but excited. That's
really, really exciting. Hopefully you will not, your boyfriend won't feed the dog milk on a regular basis. And also go follow Sophie on Twitter. You can super follow her there on Instagram. I'm going to be pushing her every week to keep writing more and more and more, because I always know there's a book in there. And I'll be back in New York in a couple weeks and we'll be in studio. So we won't have any of these. Yeah, baby, whales. We won't have any of these issues. But thank you guys so much for following and supporting both of us and for making this show a success. I really do appreciate it. It's been quite a journey this last couple of months. So I'm glad to laugh with Sophie and laugh with you guys on a daily basis. So we will talk to you later. Thank you.
We love you, Ryan. Come to visit.
Come to visit.